So look, at the center of everything that we're talking about is your specialist subject here, if you don't mind me saying, and that's people and change management. What can organizations do to best support their people during this dramatic change that's happening as they digitally transform?
Well, I think, so the first answer to that just simply is to say there needs to be a formalized change management program that goes along with your digital transformation and recognition of the fact that people are what's driving this forward. It's not the technology, going back to what we were saying at the beginning. And I say it all the time, and I will probably say it again before we're done today, but it is not about the technology. It doesn't matter how great the tool is that you've got in place. If your people are not adopting it, you're getting nowhere with it. And so, there are lots of people that will talk about detailed, repeatable, scalable change management programs that you can bring in. There's tons of really great companies that are out there that are helping customers manage this process and kind of coming in specifically for that avenue. But if you don't have the opportunity to have, consultants come in and build out this repeatable change management program for you, I always talk about that there's 3 really simple things that you can do that will at least get you headed in the right direction on that change management side and acknowledge that people are a part of the process. And so the first is communicating the why behind what you're doing. Ian and OG just talked about the outcomes of what intelligent automation is supposed to bring forward for an organization and what the ultimate goal is. But at the end of the day, every single person, whether you're sitting on this call or joining us on the live stream, we're all selfish at our core. And we want to understand why we're doing things and what's in it for us. And that's no different when it comes to how we do our job. And so if a change is coming at us and we don't understand the purpose behind it and how that's going to impact us directly, we're not going to adopt the change. So you need to do a really good job of not just saying, hey, we're digitally transforming, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're doing it. You need to help them understand what that outcome is going to mean for them and why they should support the change, why they should be excited, and how it's going to impact them as an individual. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go around walking from desk to desk having that conversation with everybody. There might be a couple of people that need that, but ultimately just really clear communication behind the ultimate goal and working backwards and giving people time to figure out that what's in it for me statement is going to be incredibly impactful in terms of getting them to the point where they are working collaboratively towards that ultimate goal of change. And once you've done a really good job of communicating that why on the front end, that communication cannot stop. You have to continue communicating good, bad, indifferent, every little update that you have throughout the implementation at regular intervals so that people understand what happens. I'm going to ask a question and hopefully we'll see comments coming in as we're talking about it. But how many people have been a part of a change where they heard change was coming and then it went silent and nothing ever happened and they don't know what happened to it? That starts to give people a sense that they can't trust that that change is going to make a difference, or the things that they're getting excited about aren't going to happen. So even if something goes off the rails, help explain why, help explain what lessons you've learned throughout. And so we've seen some of our customers do this really effectively with like regularly scheduled lunch and learns where people can come and listen if they want to about where the progress is going, or using updates on like an intranet or an email newsletter or whatever that looks like individually for your organization. Communication has to continue throughout the entire implementation. And then my favorite part, when you get to the good stuff at the end and you have this solution that's been implemented, talk about the value, celebrate the value, share those stories internally, because the more that you talk about how change is impacting the organization and those outcomes that you promise at the front end and sharing those stories, the more that digital transformation energy is going to kind of start to percolate below the surface, and you're going to get buy-in from other people around the organization. And then you're really going to truly hit that point where you're innovatively thinking, and I don't know if that's actually a word, but you're thinking with innovation and that you're getting to this point where you're building on yourself and you really get that momentum going. But without that celebration and that communication from start to finish, you're never going to get there.